Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lori. Almost dropped you in my lap again. You know that happens frequently. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it to where if you could see the setup, it is super funny because I'm like, ooh, okay. But here we are. So how are you guys? I want to talk to you guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lori. I guess I forgot that piece. So yeah, I want to talk to you today about your social media consumption. And it is something that is very near and dear to my heart because I'm very, very disciplined with my socials. I'm very, very disciplined with my phone. So I have things like a scheduler. I have a repurposer. So if I post something at TikTok, it will automatically go to my reels. So it's like I don't spend a lot of time in scrolling. I don't have my notifications turned on. I don't even have my text notifications on my watch, right? So there's a few things to keep in mind that yes, by the way, it's a real addiction. Science has proven that it is sometimes worse than actual narcotics. Yeah, because it's still part of that addiction, right? So it is a very real thing, but we can't do this listen, I'm all about baby stepping, not when it comes to this. Not when it comes to this, because you can't be like, well, I spent 9 hours on the phone today. I'll spend 7 tomorrow. No. So first, you're going to want to get into why you're spending so much time on your phone, because it is a distraction. Now, it's not always a distraction. I like Pinterest because I'm a crocheter. I like to look up new recipes. That's a little different than scrolling. That's intentional. I don't want to call it scrolling. Intentional research. Let's call it intentional research because I really like that because it sounds good, right? And I don't mean being in your obsessive compulsive thinking and going, I hurt my finger, let me go Google all of my symptoms to see how terrible it is. Nah, that's never going to serve your best and highest good. There is no scenario that I'm ever going to subscribe to that or condone that you subscribe to it. No. Stop Googling, stop going down that rabbit hole. You're not looking for anything positive. You're looking for something negative. Okay, so that's a little different. So we're going to categorize things in a couple different areas. So what you got to get clear in is why are you scrolling in the first place? So last year I was doing, I don't even know that I did a full hour, but that'd be like some days I would do an hour of like random scrolling, like a little bit on TikTok, a little bit on Instagram, definitely YouTube. But again, YouTube is a little bit more intentional for me because like, if I'm learning something or like Paul, he's a big sneaker guy. So he'll spend a little bit of time doing research on a sneaker before he buys it. Like what's good for this, that. It's a little different, right? Because you're not scrolling. You're not mindlessly scrolling. This is called intention. Everything that you do in your life has to have a base of intention. Listen, not everything. You're not going to be 100% intentional, 100% mindful. You do want to be mindful. You do want to be intentional. I've charted it out and there's some things I have to accomplish, but I think hopefully by May 1st, I'll have my 95,000th hour. Hopefully before, but that's my goal of mindfulness, right? And mindset. So teaching it and doing it, but also like there's education that I'm still like learning and it's more Eastern stuff, like based in like it's more very alternative. So, but that's where you're kind of learning it because science will teach you some things about mindfulness, but you don't really know how to do it until you can go back to some of the like people who created it long before studies, right? So anyway, so I say that to say you're not always going to be that at all times, but you want to be that most of the time. On a Sunday in the summer, if I'm by the pool, I might scroll a little bit. If I'm sitting down, I've now done 30 minutes is my maximum. I'm not even doing 30 minutes. Yesterday, I think I charted because you want to monitor it. I charted, I think I did 17 minutes yesterday in all of my socials of just random scrolling. And it's usually not in the morning. I mean, in the morning, yes. Not when I grab my phone in the morning. You don't get up out of bed and reach for your phone. You don't go to bed with your phone. That's you distracting yourself and then lying to yourself and saying, I don't have time to do the 5 journals. You do. You're on TikTok. You do. It's what's more important. You're avoiding yourself. What are you trying to avoid? So a good thing to ask yourself about this scrolling. We know it gives you dopamine. If you ever saw... God, what was it called? Not social experiment, but there have been several. It was a show. It was a movie, and it was talking like the creator of Pinterest, the creator of Facebook, not Facebook, but like some other things were on there, and how it works is, and they kind of showed you the science behind it, right? Like there's a reason that the algorithm, any algorithm, gives you things that you're looking for. So my For You page, your For You page is going to be vastly different. Mine's filled with dogs, animals, recipes, and crochet. That's what mine is filmed with, and dancing, like fun stuff. I'm not following anything political. And if something political pops on my thing, I'm hitting not interested. I have zero desire to have that in my arsenal. It's not that important to me, and it's very distracting. So, but what they do is they're going to give you enough to keep you dopamine. That's a dopamine hit, right? So when you're seeing it, it's also a way of avoiding life. I don't have to worry about what the taxes are. I don't have to worry about the bills. I don't have to worry about this crappy relationship I have or how my kids are driving me nuts. So I'm going to go on and scroll regardless of what it is. So you got to ask yourself what you're running from, because you're addicted to it. So what are you going to do about it? This is not one of those things that you do a step down. You don't go from 9 hours of scrolling to 6. Nah, that's not how we roll. So on any of your phones or anything that your phones, if you have a Google phone, like I have both, I run both ecosystems. So I have Apple and I have Samsung, and both of them have a screen time. It also has something where it can turn off your apps, right? Like, I love it. Yeah, you can override it if you need to, but why? What are you seeking? Now, again, different if you're like, I want to go back to this recipe. Well, I have recipes favorited on all of my socials, especially more Instagram, right? So I'll go, what do I want to make today? Or Pinterest. And I'll go and be like, okay, I'm going to try this. And I never really follow it all the way to the T because I want it to be mine. So I'll like add a little something or take something away or too much of something. And that's different. So you got to ask yourself what it is that you're running from. What is it that you're distracting yourself from? Are you overwhelmed? Well, okay, go back and listen to episode 37 of my podcast on microgoaling. Microgoaling is going to be your thing. Being able to understand what your plan is. What goals do you have? Because I'm going to tell you right now, sitting on social media ain't going to do it for you. It ain't going to do it for you. Grabbing your phone first thing in the morning, hard pass. Hard pass. If that means you take your phone, you put it in the bathroom, you take your phone, leave it in your bag. Right? If you're like, well, that's where my alarm is, and you're that addicted to it, then get a little alarm clock. You don't need your phone. I have my alarm clock on my other phone. I like it because the Apple, my iPhone, when it's on an alarm, I wake up in like a panic because it's like, wah, wah, wah. And what I do with my Samsung, it's got this like, but I think what I'm gonna order it off Amazon. It's this light that mimics daylight. So it just kind of like 5 or 10 minutes before it wakes you up, it just kind of starts to light the room like a sunlight. And then it wakes you up with like birds, right? I'm like, that's how I want to wake up. So it's like $60 or something like that, the one that I want. So I think I'm going to get that on Amazon just so then both of my phones can just stay downstairs. I don't need them as soon as I wake up. You don't need them as soon as you wake up. You don't. And if you're like, well, what if something happens? Need my phone on? Leave it on. And put that thing in the bathroom. Put it far away, not by your bed. You don't need it first thing in the morning. You don't. You absolutely do not. It's not serving you in a purpose whatsoever. If you feel that addicted to it, you need to check yourself and say, well, do I want to get up and stretch? Do I want to get up and have my water? Do I want to get up and do my gratitude journal? One of the 5 journals that you're going to have to do. How important are you to you? Why are you subscribing so much time and dedicating so much time into your socials? You got to check yourself and never use your phone an hour before bed. I mean, look, on a Saturday night, if you're like, I'm bored, I'm not doing anything, not bored, just say I'm not doing anything. I'm going to have 10 minutes intentional scrolling time. Still not in bed though. Don't do it in bed. Now I'll do Insta stories in bed when I've recorded a few TikToks in bed. Not like random TikToks, like about sleep or about why you don't want to do certain things. So yeah, I do have that, but I'm not going to sit there all the time and just scroll. I might sit on there and go through pictures. I will go through my phone and like, cause I'm trying to organize my pictures and sometimes I'll share them to my Insta stories or something like that, but I'm not doing the additional scrolling. And another key is I do not have my Instagram notifications on, my TikTok notifications on. I have Snapchat, but I don't really pay much attention to it. My BeReal pops up. Text messages. I don't have any notifications come to my phone. I don't need that distraction. So I don't answer anything until I go into the app, and I try not to do that much time. And again, Insta Stories is a little different. It's just more part of my life. So you have to ask yourself what it is that you're running from, but you don't get to say, I want to do more with my life. I want to do more with my goals, and then sit there and you don't. So like I said, I have a 30-minute window I give myself for random scrolling because I still like to look at cat videos and dog videos. It makes me happy. But remember, you are in control of what you are absorbing. You are in control of what you're consuming. And if you're consuming things that are creating negative for you, that's not going to be good for you. So just enough. Okay. So I want you to be in that headspace of allowing yourself to give yourself that understanding that, listen, social media wasn't always around, baby. But social media wasn't always around, and we found a way. That's how we made our goals. That's how we did that. Reward yourself. Say 20 minutes at night, I'm going to do random scrolling on TikTok. That's fine. Or anywhere else you want to be. That's great. Give it to you, but earn it. Give it to you as a reward. Don't do it as a distraction. And until you do it, you're going to sit there and you're going to keep making excuses of why you're not accomplishing other things. It ain't that deep. It is not that deep. You are not missing anything by not being on socials all day long.